So most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it doesn't work. We literally have to become someone else. In other words, thoughts are the language of the brain, and feelings are the language of the body. And how you think and how you feel creates a state of being. So then the person says, I am insecure. And whenever you say, I am anything, you're commanding your mind and body towards a destiny. So then most people's biology is, for the most part, their past. And so if you're not being defined by the vision of the future, some new possibility in your life, you're only left with the old circuitry in your brain and the old emotions of the past. So the question then is, can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet, but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the experience has already occurred?
Every single day, you one step closer, and you don't know how many steps away you are from your goal, or from where you want to be. And you know, me personally, I don't want to tell you, don't give up, because it could be a mental switch. That's all you need to where the next 6 months of your life is gonna be the best 6 months of your life thus far. It's so easy to quit, bro. That's what everyone's doing, and we're not trying to be like everybody else. Always remember that.
Choose just one part of your personality to develop that would virtually guarantee your success. Persistence would be your choice. Napoleon Hill suggested that there may be no heroic connotation to the word persistence, but he said the quality is to the character of the human like what carbon is to steel. Persistence is going to keep you going in the face of almost every obstacle that you can imagine. It is based upon your focus being directed towards the positive polarity in life. You see, it's not difficult to find an individual who's persistently doing what they don't want to do and achieving results they don't want to achieve. A lack of persistence is not their problem. How they're using their persistence is. Ignorance and paradigms are the enemy that we must defeat. Everyone is persistent. Our objective must be to put persistence to work for us rather than against us.
You're not going to hit it out of the park on the first shot. But the crazy thing about how success works is that you only need to win once. That's the crazy part, is you only have to win once. That no matter where you're at in your journey, you've just got to believe with all your fucking heart that you're going to make it. Because no one else is going to believe for you.
You need to believe and know that you're one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one book, one thought, one something away from a completely different life. And when you know that, then you begin to look for them.
If I were to leave this earth tomorrow, the one message I want to get across to everybody that sees this is that life is really short. And when you get the opportunity to take a chance and bet on yourself, fucking take it.
And what most people do is when the struggle or the tough season or the adversity comes, they do every and anything to try to get away from it. Anchor down and embrace it. Anchor down and embrace it. And I promise you, the storm will eventually pass. But don't prolong the storm by trying to resist the storm. Put your anchors down, put your feet down, right? Like a tree that has deep roots, and embrace the storm, and eventually it will pass and you will come out a stronger version of yourself.
The biggest misunderstanding about passion is that it isn't something you find or something that just comes to you. It's something you create. Too many of us go our entire lives wondering why we aren't lucky or fortunate enough to have a natural purpose or to naturally be passionate about something when it isn't even a natural thing to begin with. True passion isn't naturally occurring. It only occurs through the action of building it. And that's the irony of it all. True passion, purpose, it's never one specific thing, but it's found through the effort that you give in of itself working towards that thing, or anything for that matter. So if you've always felt like you don't have a thing that others do that get them all excited to get out of bed in the morning, then just start working on all different areas of your life and let that love of giving effort fulfill you. Anyone can try, anyone can give it, anyone can invest in the idea of becoming. That's the purpose and passion that you've been searching so long for.
Why don't you think the highest of yourself? We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great.
If you genuinely believe in yourself, you are 75% already there towards your goals. Like you will accomplish them. If you believe yourself, put in the work, it's done.
Nobody can make you successful but you. If you don't believe in you, why should I? If you're not going to invest in you, why should I? You are with you every single day. You know you better than anybody else, but you want someone to invest in you that hasn't spent one moment with you? If you're not willing to do that? Of course you wouldn't. You believe in you.
Be the person that your mum thinks you are, or the person that your younger self wanted as a role model. Brave, courageous, earnest, honest, virtuous, like on fire. There's this quote from the ancient Greeks that says, live as though all your ancestors were living a game through you. I really love that. We judge people based on how much life they can tolerate, how much feeling they can deal with and carry and enjoy. That's something that we should all try and have more of in ourselves, being that person that your younger self wanted as a role model.
What would your life look like if you had the ability to adhere to every single plan, every single dream, every single goal that you have set forth for yourself from the time that you were 10 years old to however you are now? What would your life look like?
Life has a way of testing you. Sometimes it feels like you're caught in a storm that just won't end. The kind of storm that leaves you drenched, battered, and clinging to anything that will keep you afloat. The kind that makes you wonder, how much more of this can I take? Maybe that's where you are right now, right in the middle of it. Maybe it feels like the universe is against you, like every step forward is met with 2 steps back, like no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. And when you're in that place, it's easy to think the storm will last forever. But here's the truth, the storm will end. It might not feel like it now. It might not feel like there's even a glimpse of light on the horizon. But storms don't last forever. They can't. And no matter how impossible it feels, no matter how heavy the rain, the sun will rise again. It always does. The question is, how do you keep going until it does? When the storm is raging, you need something to hold on to, something that keeps you grounded when everything else feels like it's falling apart. That anchor could be anything, a goal, a belief, a memory, a purpose. It's not about pretending the storm isn't there. It's about finding something solid within yourself to hold on to when the winds are trying to pull you in every direction. Ask yourself, what am I fighting for? What is worth holding on to? It might be your family, your dreams, your future self, the person you know you're capable of becoming. Whatever it is, let it be your anchor. Let it remind you why you're still standing, why you're still fighting, why you haven't given up.
When life feels impossible, the big picture can be overwhelming. You look at everything you have to face, and it feels like too much, too big, too heavy, too far away. But you don't have to face it all at once. You just have to take the next step. Focus on what you can do right now, in this moment. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Can you make one phone call? Write one email? Take one step out of bed? Sometimes the smallest steps are the most important because they remind you that you're still moving. They remind you that you're still capable. They remind you that the storm hasn't beaten you yet. This isn't the first storm you've faced. It might feel like the hardest, the longest, the darkest. But it's not the first time you've been tested. And if you're still here, that means you've survived every storm before this one. Think back to those moments when you thought you couldn't go on, when the pain felt unbearable, when you doubted whether you had the strength to keep going. And yet, you did. You made it through. you're still standing. Let that be your proof. Proof that you're stronger than you think. Proof that you've faced impossible things before and come out the other side. Proof that you can do it again. One of the hardest things about being in the middle of a storm is the feeling that it will never end. That this is your life now. This chaos, this pain, this struggle. But the storm is not who you are. It's something you're going through. It's not your identity. Accept that the storm is here, but don't let it become you. You are not your struggles. You are not your pain. You are the person who is weathering them, who is standing tall in the face of them, who is learning, growing, and becoming because of them.
Even in the darkest storms, there are glimmers of light. Maybe it's a kind word from a stranger. Maybe it's a moment of laughter with someone you love. Maybe it's the simple fact that you woke up this morning and decided to try again. Those small lights might seem insignificant, but they matter. They're reminders that the storm hasn't taken everything, that there's still good in the world, still hope, still something worth fighting for. Look for those lights. Hold on to them. Let them guide you forward. Storms are destructive, yes, but they're also transformative. They tear down what's weak, what's unstable, what wasn't meant to last, and they leave you with the raw materials to build something stronger, something better. This storm you're in, it's shaping you. It's teaching you resilience, patience, courage. It's showing you what you're capable of, what you can endure, what you can overcome. And when it's over, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more grounded than you ever thought possible. This is the most important thing to remember. The storm is temporary. The pain you're feeling, the struggle you're facing, it won't last forever. It might feel endless now, but every storm runs out of rain. Every night gives way to morning. When the sun rises again, and it will, you'll look back on this time and realize that it didn't break you. It tested you, yes. It challenged you, pushed you to your limits. But it didn't break you. It made you. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you face it. You can choose to let it consume you, or you can choose to let it refine you. You can choose to give up, or you can choose to fight for the life you know you're capable of living. The storm will end. The sun will rise. And when it does, you'll be standing there, stronger, braver, and more alive than ever before. Keep going. You've got this.